Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and today is the release day for Aurora Burning. I'm pretty sure this is my most anticipated book of this year. I really enjoyed Aurora Rising the first time I read it, which was about a year ago, and then I reread it last month. I vlogged some of that experience. I reread it for the owls and it was awesome. Of course, I'm getting the book the day of and I'm going to be listening to it like I did the first one, and I figured I would do another vlog with you guys. It's only 15 hours long, so there is a good chance this will be a one-day vlog, but I do have a few things I need to get done today, so maybe we can stretch it into a 2-day vlog. I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly because last night I was thinking about all of this stuff and really excited and wishing I could just have it a few hours early so I could get started on it. And I decided that it's really weird that I actually love this book, because when I think about it, I don't necessarily love any of the characters. Like, I like them all, but I don't think there's any one of them that stands out to me above the rest. 100% that is the one, which maybe is a really good thing. Maybe Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff did a really good job of not having one character be the all in all. So, of course, I don't remember half of their names, but if you start off at the top, I should like Spock, Commander Spock. He would be the most obvious choice for me as a person, if you know me, but like, there's some things that like just don't make him quite as enjoyable as the original Commander Spock. And then there's Commander Dimples, who I actually really enjoy his character a lot. I wasn't totally sure I was going to. I think he's funny. I think he has the right sense of wit and authority, but he's got nothing on Commander Kirk either. And then there's Scarlet, whose name I actually can remember, so maybe I should give her full credit to being my favorite character. But the first time I read her character, I didn't love her at first, and then she slowly grew on me. The second time, I loved her from the beginning, and then she slowly kind of lost some interest by the end. So I don't know what exactly happened to reverse that for me. And then of course there's Kat, Aces. She's my favorite character. And then there's White Boy, whose name I'm definitely never going to remember, and he is really funny, but I feel like he doesn't have enough screen time for me to really love him. And then of course there's Zilla, whose name I can remember. Wow, I thought I couldn't remember anyone's name, but here we are. The psychopath. I really enjoy her character, but she also only gets like 3 chapters, and her 3 chapters are 1 sentence each, and they totally make sense. But I am really hoping in this book to get more of her backstory. Yeah, I'm going to go for a walk and listen to the audiobook this morning, and I'm gonna get a huge chunk of it done.
Listening Library presents Aurora Burning, The Aurora Cycle Book 2 by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Read for you by Full Cast.
Okay, I'm on my walk and I want to say something before we continue on. I am right now in chapter 3. So we had a chapter kind of explaining like a prologue, like what happened in the last book. And then we had a chapter from Tyler, a chapter from Ori, and right now I'm in a chapter from Scarlet. I didn't love the beginning. I felt like they kind of missed the mark with what made me love book 1 in these 2 first chapters. They were like high action and high intensity, but it wasn't in the right way, and I don't really know how to explain that, but I just didn't love them. So I was hesitant, but I also had to remind myself that this is the beginning, and anytime a sequel starts, it loses momentum because you come off of this high where you're invested in a story, and you come into another story where you have no investments in it, and it's hard to do. You also have to have this kind of like bridge where you have reminders or information for people who haven't read the book or haven't read it in a long time. The first one, along with people who are like me, who have just finished the first book and are reading the sequel, and so getting all the information that you already know can be kind of boring and dull, and I think I'm actually past most of it. I think there might be like a few reminders throughout still, but nothing like how they had in chapter 1 and 2. I also think that Ori's chapter, in the first book we got a lot of flashbacks to her past in her chapters, and right now, at least for the first chapter she had, it wasn't anything like that. It was all present, and her chapters kind of bore me, if you can't tell from the fact that I forgot to mention her in my character sum up earlier. Oops. But I just don't really
like her as a character. Like every once in a while she does something that I really like, but for the most part I'm just kind of like, I don't dislike her, but I'm neutral about her. So, but as soon as we started Scarlett's chapter, it felt different. The like vibe from the book, the essence of what it was changed, and I am really enjoying it again. So I don't know if that's because I like Scarlett or if it's because the tone is getting past that like summation, trying to get me hooked again. Also, something I wanted to say was I think it's really weird that Scarlett might be my favorite character, because she definitely is someone that I wouldn't have favorited in any other context. Like the type of character she is one I usually can't stand. So I don't know what's going on in this book where I like her more. Maybe something's going on with me, I don't know, but it's like I should like those characters over there, but today / reading this whole entire series, I like these ones over here.
We just got an 11-minute chapter from Zila. I haven't learned much, but I really liked it. Okay, so I just made it to chapter 11. The book is definitely picking up. I'm enjoying it a lot more now. I think I figured out what my biggest issue with Cal, Commander Spock, and Aurora's relationship is, and that is they're both somehow, mostly him, extremely possessive and like insta-lovey, and they try to brush this off by being like, oh, it's the way of the aliens, but that just reminds me of whenever Sarah J. Maas would be like, that's just how Fae are. I don't like it. So I think that's why I don't like him. Like everything else about him is fine, but the fact that he's so possessive makes me really dislike his character. And he's like always trying to like overprotect her, and she doesn't mind, so I shouldn't, but that's something that really bothers me in real life. Like as a woman, sometimes I feel like men try to overprotect me, and it pisses me off because I'm like, I can handle things, like I can do this on my own, at least give me the opportunity to do it. And so watching him do this to her, even though she's not upset at all about it, I get a little bit upset about it. Other than that, I'm really enjoying the book now. There's been some twists and turns and some hints that there's going to be some kind of time travel element at some point, which I love. I love time travel. I'm going to take a really quick break, watch some YouTube videos. I have like maybe 20 minutes of things that got posted today that I want to watch, and sent out an email that I need to respond to, and then I'm going to go back to the audiobook. Hey, so I took a little bit longer of a break than I meant to. Some other YouTube videos got uploaded, of course, and so after about an hour, I ended up listening to my audiobook some more, and then I realized that my used bookstore is open and that I was feeling so much cabin fever. So I decided to treat myself by coming down here and just spending maybe 30 minutes to an hour just kind of browsing through the bookstore. I know that like quarantine is still in effect, but I know also that I kind of needed to get out of the house, and this is just mostly an excuse for me to get out and I'll be safe. And so I'm going to do it. I did bring my headphones so that I could listen to my audiobook while I was browsing, but right now I'm not in the mood to do that. Okay, so this angle and lighting sucks, but I'm gonna get through this really quickly. I got 3 books for $6, which is awesome. I picked up a copy of A Dance with Dragons, which I have already read. It's extremely dirty, but it was $2, and this is just gorgeous. And it's a hardback. And the outside is dirty, but the inside is absolutely pristine. There's no dents, tears, writing, highlights, and nothing. And then I picked up the 3rd book in the Lies of Locke Lamora series because this one is also very pretty. I know I DNF'd the first book, so that's kind of disappointing, but I read the summary on the back of this one and it sounds interesting. So I think what I'll do is, I was listening to the audiobook for the first one and that's when I DNF'd it. So I think what I'll try to do is pick up the first one really cheap online, or maybe from my library, and read it and see if physically reading it solves that, and then hopefully I can really enjoy it. And so I was looking for something that I would be interested in reading, and was the first in a series, because a lot of the books there are like later ones in series and you don't have the first one there, or it was just a standalone. And so I found The Ambassador's Mission, which, dang, this lighting does suck here. I've never heard of this before now, but the back sounded really good. I looked up the reviews online, they sounded really good. It was like a 3.8 or a 3.9.
those are the 3 books I got. Plus, if I dislike any of those, I can bring them back to the bookstore, and then I get credits that I can use to buy other books. So it's not like I necessarily lose out if I hate them. I'm home. I'm going to go back to listening to some more of Aurora Burning. I'm really enjoying it. I think what I needed was that break and that outing. So now that I've had it, I'm happy again. I feel a lot better emotionally. So I am right now in the middle of one of Zila's chapters, and it's her backstory, and it's not what I wanted, but it's fine for what it is. It's still good. It's just not what I was expecting it to be. So I'm slightly disappointed. How you doing? I'm okay. So I have less than 2.5 hours on the audiobook, and I started listening on times 2.5 speed because I was doing fine with it. So that means I have less than an hour left, but I am extremely tired right now because it's 10 o'clock at night and I normally go to sleep right now. So I'm gonna listen to the rest of this chapter and then go to bed and finish it in the morning. But I wanted to do a check-in right now because I have some thoughts. The book's not bad, but it's not great. I'm leaning towards a 3.5 star rating right now, and if nothing improves, that's probably what it's gonna get, which is really disappointing that the book that was my most anticipated of the year might be one of my biggest disappointments of the year. Some of the things that are bothering me, without spoiling anything, are the repetitive nature of the writing. So like exact phrases keep getting repeated, and that's really frustrating and annoying and makes me as a reader feel like the authors feel like I'm dumb, and I don't like feeling that way because like they have to keep reminding me of things. I know that's not what they meant to do with it. They meant to like emphasize stuff, but that's how I took it. And then the other thing that is really annoying me is the insta love of this book, and they try to write around it by like doing some cool / weird stuff with time, but I just feel like not only was it insta love, but they jumped from being in love to being like obsessed with each other, and it was not even like, oh my god, I love you. It was like, you are my everything. I can't live without you. There's nothing else in my life but you. It isn't healthy. It's not. So I'm not a fan of that. And then third thing that's kind of bothering me is, this is so annoying. Third thing that is annoying me is Cal and Ari are getting a lot of screen time, like a lot of page time. And I remember in book 1, it felt way more even. I mean, of course, Zila doesn't get like any time, but like it felt appropriate to every single character's personality, the amount of screen time they were having. In this one, I feel like Cal and Ari are getting so much screen time. Good morning. That's really hot. That's like way too hot. I finished this morning already. I woke up around 6:30 because my brain doesn't like me. And then I put my headphones on and I finished reading
the audiobook, listening to the audiobook while I was laying in bed. And that was actually kind of pleasant, except for the fact that I didn't like it. We're not gonna talk about that, are we? Actually, no, that's all we're supposed to be talking about in this video. I feel the need to apologize and to like put all of the blame on myself because I didn't like this book. When in all actuality, I shouldn't have to do that. Like, just because I didn't like a book is not an offense to apologize for. And it's not that like the authors need to apologize or anything. There are people out there that are going to love this book. It's just I didn't love it, and I'm disappointed because I had loved the first one so much. There's a few other comments I could make about why I wasn't a huge fan of it, but instead of focusing on the negatives, I'm going to tell you some of the things I really liked about it. I ended up rating the book 3 out of 5 stars. I knocked off the half a point because of some of the stuff that happened at the end that I wasn't a fan of. Some of the things I really liked, I love the relationship between Scarlett and Tyler. The sibling relationship is so good. I just really enjoy how they are there for each other, but they're also not afraid to call each other's bluffs. I really enjoy Scarlett as a character in total because even though she is seen as this extremely gorgeous person, her chapters were some of the few where she wasn't obsessing necessarily over other people's looks. She was really good at noticing other things along with physical appearances, so I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Zila's chapters. I'm glad we got to know more backstory. I think there's still more to be unwrapped with her character, but what they gave me wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it's what she needed to move forward. So I'm glad they were able to do that. Finian was not bad. I like him as a comic relief. I wish that he was foiled more against other characters because I feel like a lot of times other people were trying to come in and be the comedic relief, and when Zila was doing it, it felt like character development. But when certain other people were doing it, it felt like everyone was just snarky and sassy, and Finian pull it off in a very good way, so I liked when he was snarky and sassy. I appreciated what he was doing with his character as well. I appreciate his representation of a disabled character. I like the representation of biracial characters, especially with Ori. She delved into a little bit more of the culture, not a ton, but a little bit more of the culture in this one, and so that was a little bit nice. You notice that when I'm naming things I like, I'm leaving a huge circle around Cal. I'm not going anywhere near him. I'm not touching that. That's it. That's really all I felt for this book. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I do not need to apologize for that. Let me know if you've read the book down in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you more about it. I'd love to hear from people of both sides, like people who hated it and people who absolutely loved it, because I feel like I'm very middle ground right now. I'm very wishy-washy. So anyways, I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. Bye.